Why, hello there, and welcome to 10 Spookiest Pre-Code Cartoons, in which I will discuss 10 of the spookiest pre-code cartoons. But first, a couple rules. First, all cartoons on the list must have been released before July 1st, 1934, and second, I'm only including one entry per starring character, which is mainly just to give the list some variety. Alright then, let's get spooky. Number 10. Felix the Ghost Breaker. Released in July of 1923, Felix the Ghost Breaker begins with Felix taking a nap on a grave, when he is rudely awoken by a troublesome spook, who Felix decides to follow, because sure, why not? The ghost then proceeds to spook some farm animals, and the farmer himself, who is comically terrified. But fortunately for him, Felix is a regular ghost breaker. In his task, Felix is assaulted by all manner of spookery, before coming up with his totally rational plan. Lure the ghost away with rum, and pull a gun on him. But then, in a shocking twist, the ghost is actually this guy. Number 9. Coco's Haunted House. Released in April of 1928, Coco's Haunted House tells of a pilfered inkwell stretched into a spooky house, which becomes three-dimensional for some reason. Coco is then sent in, also for unknown reasons, where he and his dog are relentlessly spooked by all manner of kooky spookies, before getting forced out, and then in retaliation, an army of Cocos turn the spooks on the spookster. Number 8. Hell's Bells. Released in November of 1929, Hell's Bells takes us to Hell, where we meet a number of horrifying hell beasts, and the ruler of Hell himself. Also his adorable little devil minions with their little devil band, and oh, they're just so cute. Just look at them milking that hell cow. Although Satan is not exactly nice to his adorable little minions, and in the end this gets him spanked by fire. Number 7. The Haunted Ship. Released in April of 1930, The Haunted Ship stars Waffles the Cat and Dawn Dog, who are out for a leisurely fly when their plane is struck down by what I can only assume is a lightning elemental. As they sink to the bottom of the sea, they find a sunken ship, which they decide to investigate, because cartoon logic. Inside, they are met with a standard assortment of spooky creatures, spooky skulls, and spooky skeletons, before a really out-of-place musical number. Eventually, they're met with Davy Jones himself, who just kind of chases them out. Number 6. A Madhouse. Released in March of 1934, A Madhouse has one thing going for it, and it has that one thing in abundance. Skeletons. Dancing skeletons, musical skeletons, bathing skeletons, a skeleton dog, skeletons playing pool, just all kinds of skeleton. Also, this random plot with a scientist who makes an invisibility serum so that he can kidnap this girl dog for reasons that are never really made clear. Number 5. Minnie the Moocher. Released in March of 1932, Minnie the Moocher opens with Betty Boop running away from home because her parents were trying to make her eat. And Bimbo comes along. It doesn't have to make sense, it's really just a setup to get them into the spooky cave, where they encounter Ghost Walrus Cab Calloway, plus assorted ghosts, skeletons, ghosts of skeletons, and other assorted spooks who terrify Betty and Bimbo, all while singing Minnie the Moocher. before eventually chasing them out of the cave and back. Number 4. What a Night. Released in April of 1931, What a Night stars Tom and Jerry. No, the other Tom and Jerry, as taxi drivers who drive a pair of mysterious gentlemen to a spooky castle. Tom and Jerry follow them in an attempt to receive their payment, only to find themselves trapped. Inside, they encounter an array of spookiness, such as a bat in fancy shoes, the second bathing skeleton of this list, which Jerry kinda seems to be into, plus ghosts, musical skeletons, dancing skeletons, sexy dancing skeletons, and racist skeletons. Only to learn the horrifying truth that they are skeletons. Number 3. Flip the Frog in Spooks. Released in April of 1933, Spooks finds Flip and his trusty steeds seeking shelter from a storm, which they find in a spooky house. Flip is greeted by the skeleton butler and is then invited to dine by the skeleton head of the house, where skeletal chicken is served, which Flip feeds to a skeleton dog, who has skeleton fleas. Then the skeleton band starts to play, and Flip dances with a nice lady skeleton. But then his skeletal host realizes that Flip's skeleton would make a nice addition to his skeleton collection. Flip is ambushed and brought to what I could only assume is the skeletonizing room, but is ultimately able to escape, only to discover the horrifying truth. That horse is skeleton. Number 2. Mickey Mouse in The Mad Doctor. Released in January of 1929, The Mad Doctor opens with Pluto being abducted and Mickey following the trail to the castle of Dr. XXX. Insert your own joke here. Inside, Mickey is subjected to the usual array of skeletal spookings. Meanwhile, the Doctor reveals his horrible plan to graft Pluto's head onto the body of a chicken. You know, for science. Mickey encounters a good number of skeletons, including this giant skeleton spider, which shouldn't work, but kinda does, before falling into his own life-threatening situation. And then it was all a dream, which is kinda lame. Number 1. Swing, you sinners. Released in October of 1930, Swing You Sinners opens with Bimbo the dog attempting to steal a chicken, only to attract the attention of a policeman, who Bimbo runs away from in an oddly casual manner. Unfortunately, he soon finds himself trapped in a graveyard, where spooky tombstones, graves, trees, and other assorted spooks sing accusing songs to him about how he will pay for his sins. He eventually takes refuge in an old barn, where much to his dismay, the spooking only intensifies. And from this point on, it really just gets weirder, and weirder, and weirder. And there you have it, 10 of the spookiest pre-code cartoons. I've placed them all in a playlist, which will be available in the description or in the end card, so that you can spook them at your own leisure. What's your favorite spooky cartoon? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because that lets me and YouTube know that you liked it. Also, subscribing does that thing. Well, until next time.